In the aftermath of Gaza's most destructive conflict in decades, Nasser al-Qudwa, the nephew of the late Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat, has stepped back into the spotlight with a sweeping reconstruction and governance proposal. His plan, which he describes as a national recovery framework, envisions rebuilding Gaza through a technocratic, corruption-free administration that operates independently from both Hamas and the current Palestinian Authority, PA. Al-Qudwa's return has reignited debate across Palestinian, Arab, and international circles about who should lead Gaza's post-war recovery and how to prevent the cycle of destruction from repeating. Summary and context. Al-Qudwa's plan aims to establish a transitional governing council comprised of respected Palestinian technocrats, Arab representatives, and international observers. This council would oversee reconstruction, coordinate humanitarian aid, and lay the groundwork for democratic elections within a fixed time frame. His proposal calls for international oversight to ensure transparency and accountability while focusing on essential needs, restoring power, water, healthcare, and education. Central to the plan is the exclusion of Hamas from administrative roles in the reconstruction process, a move intended to reassure donors and rebuild international trust. At the same time, al-Qudwa advocates limiting the direct control of the Ramallah-based PA, arguing that its credibility among Gazans has eroded. He proposes a third path, a temporary, nonpartisan government supported by the Arab League, the United Nations, and key regional actors such as Egypt, Jordan, and Qatar. This initiative reflects al-Qudwa's belief that Palestinian politics need a reset, one grounded in professional governance, not factional power struggles. His return to the political scene comes as Gaza faces catastrophic destruction, with thousands of homes, schools, and hospitals reduced to rubble and over 2 million residents dependent on humanitarian aid. Analysis and reasons behind the plan. Al-Qudwa's reemergence is rooted in several political and humanitarian realities. Collapse of governance. Both Hamas and the PA have lost credibility. The former due to its militant control and international isolation, the latter due to corruption, inefficiency, and failure to represent Gazan voices. Al-Qudwa's technocratic approach seeks to rebuild governance from scratch, focusing on capability rather than loyalty. Donor fatigue and distrust. After repeated wars, international donors have become wary of channeling aid through existing political entities. Billions in past reconstruction pledges have either stalled or been diverted. Al-Qudwa's plan, with external oversight, is designed to restore confidence among Western and Gulf donors. Regional realignment. The Arab world, especially Egypt and Saudi Arabia, is eager to stabilize Gaza without strengthening Hamas. By presenting an alternative leadership model rooted in Arab cooperation and Palestinian professionalism, al-Qudwa's proposal aligns with broader regional interests. Legacy of Arafat and national legitimacy. As Arafat's nephew and former UN diplomat, al-Qudwa carries symbolic weight. He appeals to Palestinians nostalgic for national unity and international legitimacy. His emphasis on integrity and institutional reform evokes memories of an earlier era of Palestinian diplomacy. Consequences and challenges. If implemented, al-Qudwa's plan could shift the political landscape of Gaza, but it faces steep challenges. Political resistance. Hamas, despite its weakened state, remains deeply entrenched in Gaza's social and security structures. The PA's leadership in Ramallah, under Mahmoud Abbas, is unlikely to welcome an external technocratic authority that could undermine its political role. International hesitation. Western governments may endorse the concept, but hesitate to commit funds until a stable security arrangement is in place. Public trust. Gaza's residents have endured years of false promises. Rebuilding legitimacy among civilians may prove harder than reconstructing infrastructure. Security vacuum. Without a unified Palestinian force, managing law, order, and border control will remain a critical obstacle. Despite these hurdles, the consequences of inaction are dire. Without a credible post-war governance plan, Gaza risks falling into further chaos, ruled by competing factions, dependent on foreign aid, and vulnerable to renewed violence. Predictions and future outlook. Over the next year, regional diplomacy will likely focus on establishing a temporary reconstruction framework, resembling al-Qudwa's vision. Egypt and Qatar, both pivotal in ceasefire negotiations, may support a hybrid structure that balances international oversight with limited Palestinian autonomy. The UN could play a coordinating role, providing technical expertise and financial management. If international actors reach consensus, donors from Europe, the Gulf, and Asia may release conditional funding tied to transparency benchmarks. However, political infighting within Palestinian factions could delay progress, risking another frozen reconstruction effort similar to those after previous wars. Proposed solutions and path forward: inclusive transitional council. Establish a multi-layered governance model involving Palestinians from Gaza and the West Bank, supported by Arab and UN representatives. This would provide legitimacy and prevent monopolization by any single faction. Transparent reconstruction mechanism. Create a digital monitoring system for aid and infrastructure projects, ensuring real-time tracking of funds to prevent corruption and misuse. Security and demilitarization framework. Coordinate with regional powers to establish a neutral security force tasked with border management and disarmament supervision. Economic revival program. Launch job creation and small business incentives funded by international donors to reduce dependency on aid and restore local resilience. Political renewal. Set a timeline for elections once reconstruction stabilizes, allowing Palestinians to choose legitimate leadership rooted in unity rather than division. Conclusion. Nasser al-Qudwa's proposal represents both a return to Arafat's legacy of pragmatic state building and a forward-looking attempt to rebuild Gaza on principles of transparency and inclusiveness. While the path ahead is fraught with political resistance and regional complexity, his plan provides a realistic framework for hope. Rebuilding Gaza will require more than concrete and funding. It demands trust, reform, and a renewed vision for Palestinian self-governance. If the international community, Arab states, and Palestinian leaders can align around such a framework, Gaza may finally move from perpetual recovery toward genuine